My name is Pastor Kirsten Davis. I'm on staff at King's Cathedral and Chapels. I have been a staff member for almost 15 years. When I was younger, in high school and in my beginning stages of college, my desire was to be a geologist. I attended the University of Oklahoma for a year with the intent to major in geology, and that's what I was going to do. Never did I dream that I would get to meet people that are so dear to me and get to go on such grand adventures, all for the sake of declaring God's glory and goodness. Never dreamed that I would get to do what I've done. Absolutely have had leadership thrust upon me. My sister and I were, I don't want to use the word forced, but we were expected to be a major part of whatever our local church was doing. From the time we were kids, especially in high school, my dad would bring us along to set up, help run an event, serve, clean up. And that's what we did as kids, and that's what we did as youth in junior high and high school. Today, greatest leader in my life, I would have to say, is a mix of voices and a mix of schools of thought. The great influencers, I guess the best way to say it, over the last 10 years could probably break down like this. In terms of people skills and valuing people and understanding people, and probably just everything that has to do with relating to people, connecting to people, I would have to say the greatest attributor would be the author John Maxwell. I don't know him. I've never met him, but I've read 90% of his material over and over again, and it has greatly influenced the way I perceive people and their value and my relating to them in terms of living a life of faith and being a generous giver and giving supernaturally and taking tremendous steps of faith and seeing faith lived out in my life and in my family. Dr. James Morocco is the greatest contributing person in my life, in my family's life. In terms of family, raising children, being in a marriage, the greatest influencers in my life would be my uncle and aunt, Pastor Chris and Melissa Davis, and the Reynolds, Pastor Brian and Kelly Reynolds. Tremendous influence in my wife and I's life in terms of family. Those are the leaders in my life today that have influenced and still influence who I'm becoming, who my family's becoming. What I want people to know me for is probably more simple than what you're looking for in terms of having a report on a influential leader. What I want to be known for is, number one, that I love God with everything that I am, and that I owe everything to Him, and that I don't have anything that I earned on my own. That is not a sad, mopey attitude of how pitiful I am. It is a testimony to how great God is and what He saved me from and what He's done in my life since the point of suicide when I was 17. That's what I want to be known for, is how great God is and how much I love Him. Hardest moment. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Okay, I have to give you two. Hardest moment and lesson. Number two, this is in order. Number two would be learning to correct people or bring teachable moments in their life without overdoing it. I have certainly swatted a fly on people's heads with a hammer more times than I want to acknowledge. But that's number two. Number one, absolutely, hands down, not even a question of doubt. Number one, the most difficult thing that I've had to do would be to obey God and move to Oregon. Lived in Maui for 14 years. My kids are born there. And all of my relationships are there outside of my parental relationships and my siblings. People I love dearly. People I've given my life for and invested my life in. People I love so very much are there. Very close relationships. People so close that they're like my own kids and my own brothers and sisters. And to leave there and to uproot my family and my kids' relationships and my wife's relationships, I'm going to start crying. Jeez. And to attempt to obey God, who only spoke to me, didn't speak to them, that is the most difficult thing I have ever done and am doing.